Hello. Okay, we're gonna see if that fixed it. I think it might have. Okay, guys, so sorry for that technical delay there. So we are live, I believe. If you can hear me, if you can just drop me a 1 or something in the comments. But my name is Tanya Johnson. I am the founder of Helping Hearts Homeschooler. Helping Hearts Homeschool, Helping Hearts Homeschooler. I'm not sure which one I'm under. However, basically what that business consists of is I help you navigate the good and the bad of homeschooling, because it is not all unicorns and rainbows. It's amazing. It absolutely is fun, but there's also a lot of the downside that people don't talk about. So that's kind of what I dive into in my channel, is the real life messiness of homeschooling. Hi, Emily. Hi, Mel Blossoms. Hi, Raising Wild Ones. So without further ado, if you want to follow me on any of my socials, they will be tagged down in the comments when I'm done. And we're going to talk about the 7 essentials of parenting, because this is something that I'm very passionate about. Before we get started, however, I do want to give a small business shout out. You guys know on this page, I am 1000% in favor of supporting small businesses. If you have not seen it, I have a huge giveaway going on with several other content creators where everyone has pitched in and they're giving something away to you. So if you want to enter that, just head over to my page. And then the small business shout out for the day is going to go to Chunky Boutique 2. I'm going to show you some of the things that she sent me because they're adorable. And the reason I wanted to shout her out in this video is because every single girl mom understands that one essential key aspect, whatever, of parenting. I tried to make that like a cute into my title and it clearly did not work. One essential part of parenting a girl is cuteness. And all the girl moms said amen. So I want to show you some of the bows that she sent. So all the ones I'm going to show you right now are just the standard clip bows. This is white with some, I call them watercolor unicorns. We've got a mermaid style bow. This is adorable. She's going to be wearing this all fall long. She also sent over a couple headbands, and this is, I don't know what it's made out of. It's really cool feeling. My daughter said that it looks like crystals, except they're not pointy. So she actually wore the pink one yesterday. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere in her room already. And then this is the purple one. She sent an adorable polka dot scrunchie. Another mermaid, except this one has the little glitter around the sides. Now, she did tell me that these are waterproof. So they're made out of waterproof material, which means when my daughter's at the beach or at the pool, because my daughter loves bows all the time, she can wear these. And as long as we make sure it dries all the way so the clip doesn't rust, we're good to go. She can actually wear these in the water. And then my 2 favorite probably are these. I think they're called clay bows. I think that's what she calls them. So same thing. They're the metal clip. They are incredibly fancy looking. And then they have the cute little clay figurine. This one is a unicorn. And then the second one she sent us is Barbie, because my daughter is obsessed with Barbie. How cute is that? So again, the small business shout out, her name, or her Instagram handle rather, is Chunky Monkey Boutique 2. So if you have a little girl, go at least look at her site, shop her collections, just, show her some love. Even if you don't want to buy anything or can't purchase anything, maybe like and comment on a few of her posts, give her a follow just to give her a little bit more traction in her business. So without further ado, I think I said that already. Let's get in. Y'all, I'm a little quirky and a little scatterbrained if you haven't figured that out yet. Let's get into the 7 essentials of parenting. So this is not something I came up with. This is something that actually I heard someone else teach, and I just put my own little spin on it. It wasn't geared towards homeschooling. But I did resonate with everything that they said. And a lot of the stuff I share, guys, there's only so many parenting tips, and then we all start kind of mimicking each other. So a lot of the stuff I share, I didn't come up with. If we want to be real, open the Bible. That's all the parenting tips that you need. However, it's nice to hear them from different perspectives sometimes. So the first essential of parenting is the law of first mention. You guys know all the cringe topics that you don't want to talk about with your kids? That's what we're talking about. So smoking, drinking, sex, drugs. If you're a independent Christian like we are, maybe different versions of the Bible, modesty, whatever it is, those hard topics that you're like, I don't really want to talk to you about this, because one, I probably have to do a little research to like make sure I'm teaching you the correct stuff. But two, topics like sex, like who wants to talk about that to their kids? But law of first mention, you bring it up first, then it's not quite such a taboo subject, and your child, one, knows that there's communication there. But two, if something comes up you haven't spoken to them about yet, they'll come to you instead of going to their friends. You guys know I've told this story a few times on my channel. I had an instance several years ago, so if you think you know what I'm talking about, you probably don't, where a little girl asked me a question about sex in class. And I told her, I said, go ask your mom. That's definitely a question for your parents. She did, and she got in trouble for asking about that topic. Then I got in trouble for telling her to go ask about that topic. And it was just a crap show. And the child probably is still in the dark, and she is much older than that now. So, actually, never mind. She's not in the dark, because I was told from another parent. She went and asked this other parent's daughter instead, and probably did not get a correct answer because most kids don't know about the topic. So, law of first mention, guys. If it's a subject that you think your child might be hearing about, you talk to them about it first. Now, maybe you don't. Maybe they come to you with a question and you're like, whoa, we're not ready for that topic yet. Too bad, so sad. They've heard about it. It's your job to talk to them. Number two is a place for everything. Guys, I know this is a taboo subject, but clean your house. And I'm not saying it has to be a museum. I'm saying there probably should be a place for most everything, because your kids will imitate what you show them. So if you show them that there's a place for everything, then it's going to be a lot easier when they're teenagers. Because, guys, I've been there, done that. I've done the teenage thing already. And now I'm, doing the 7-year-old thing. And that's a long story I won't go that much into. But I can tell you teenagers are incredibly messy when they've not been taught how to clean properly. And, yeah, it's just easier to do it when they're kids. The third essential of parenting is live with rhythm. And again, this kind of goes back to like a place for everything. There's also a time for everything. So you've got to learn to live by schedule in order to teach your kids how to live by schedule. And I think that's something that a lot of moms kind of buck at. We don't teach our kids how to schedule because that means we have to put the work in to scheduling our own lives. And I'm not saying you have to schedule down to the minute. I'm saying follow a routine. Do your kids know when they get out of bed what's expected. Now, this is for all across the board, homeschooler or not homeschooler. But if you're a homeschooler, it's doubly important because you're with your kids 24/7. You're probably going to need a little bit of quiet time. So you can fit in your quiet time while your kids are doing something that's part of their routine. So you don't feel like you're telling them, hey, Susie, go do this so I don't have to deal with you. Instead, Susie's already doing XYZ that she can do independently and on her own. Look, Mom, you magically have a 30-minute window that you can have your own quiet time and do what you need to do. So I will tell you from experience, because I did not learn time management until I got to college, it's easier to learn time management as a kid than it is as an adult. Have any of you guys ever tried to learn a second language as an adult and how freaking hard it is? And then you see a little first grade kid who's learning a second language and excelling at it, and you're wondering, like, why the heck can't I do that? Their brains honestly are sponges. If you're going to teach them something extreme, like I would say time management is pretty extreme if you're good at it. It's like learning a second dang language. Teach them when they're young. Teach them to have discipline. Teach them to be mindful of what they're doing and when they're doing it. So when they're adults, they know how to prioritize and they know how to fit in all the things that they have to fit in. Because let's face it, your lives only get busier as we get older. It never, stuff is never taken off of our plate. I'll just give you a very small breakdown of my daughter's schedule. So she typically is up by 5, and that's by choice. That is not because I wake her up. Like, I would love her to sleep till 7 o'clock every day. But typically from 5 to 11, she wakes up, she does her responsibilities, because she's not allowed to get up at 5 unless she's ready to start her responsibilities. That's something I hear people say, well, my kid wakes up and I can't have quiet time. Well, what do they do when they wake up? Well, they're wanting my attention. No, it should be a rule that they're not allowed to wake up unless they are doing whatever it is that you need them to do. Or they're being quiet. That might be an option in your house. In mine, if she's up at 5, that's not an option. If she gets up at 7, she doesn't have to do responsibilities right away. She can have quiet time. But the idea behind it is, if you're not awake enough to get up and start on your stuff, you probably should go back to bed. That's kind of the point, is I don't really want her up at 5 all the time, for the simple fact that then she's groggy and a little cranky by the time we do school. So she wakes up, does responsibilities, she gets herself a bath, she gets herself dressed. And then if she wakes up super early, sometimes she does take a small nap. But in our house, you're not allowed to take a nap after 11 a.m. Because how many of y'all know what happens when your kids take late naps? They don't go to bed on time when it's bedtime. We've been there, done that. It's not fun. It's not fun when 8 o'clock rolls around and your kid's like, I'm not tired. And, she behaves well, so she lays down like she's supposed to. And 3 hours later, she's in my bedroom. Mom, I just can't fall asleep. So no naps past 11 a.m. So if she wants to take a nap, that's the time she does it. She usually doesn't, though. She's just not a nap person. And then we have a lot of outside time between that time. We do our morning school, which is pretty independent. And then typically she does crafts or something. So that's from 5 to 11. We do all of that from 5 to 11. From 11 to 3 is a lot of me being hands-on with her. So we do a lot of reading. We do what's called fun school. So science, history, stuff that is a lot more, again, hands-on. We have playtime. We have a lot of games. We have more fun school. So typically 11 to 3 is very intensive with me being with her the whole time. And then 3 to 8 is a lot of crafting and playing again. So typically what will happen is I will take my work outside. Right now it's summer. In the winter, we live in Indiana. In the winter, we don't do this. In the summer, I'll take my work outside and I'll sit and I'll get some work done. Typically what I do in the afternoons is I will post up a bunch of new ads, and then I have conversations with people via like email and direct message, whether it's about making money from home. I teach a lot of people how to make money from home with no social media experience. And then people with social media experience, I teach them how to get brand deals and work closer with large companies. And then I also teach a lot of I do a lot of one-on-one homeschooling Zooms. So if you've ever been on a homeschool Zoom with me, you know that sometimes I'm like, oh, hey, I'm so sorry. Give me 2 minutes. Like, my kid's asking me a question, because I do work 100% around my daughter. So anyways, I'll take my stuff outside. She'll craft, she'll play. And then my husband gets home around, just kidding, I'm on the internet, I'm not going to say that. My husband gets home sometime around there. So she'll have a lot of dad time during that time. He'll come out and we'll play games or do something in the evening, and then she goes to bed. Now again, there's a lot of room for a lot of flexibility during that time, right? Like, I just told you a lot of things, but not I just told you 3 blocks of time. Now, I do schedule out my days pretty close to every 15 minutes. However, there's still a routine that we follow. So if I know if we are going to have game time with dad, I know which block it's going under. I know that my journaling time is always in block number 1. She knows that if she sees me journaling and reading my Bible, that is not time to come and talk to me. That is time to get her responsibilities done. Now breakfast is in there sometime that I help her with. So that isn't really, it is a routine, but it's something that I help with. But she knows, she has her options, put it that way. She has her options of things to do. And I have a note under here that I added, and it's unplanned days lead to unfocused lives. If you want your child to be focused and productive, you have to teach them how to plan. How many adults do you know that it seems like they don't ever get anything done? They're always running late. They never can meet deadlines. Maybe they're a teacher in your church and they're always rolling in 10, 15 minutes after class starts. Or they're a teacher in your church, and I say church because I know that's something that we observe more in our circles. Maybe they're a teacher in church and you can tell when they open up or they don't even open a lesson book because they don't have one. You can tell when they start teaching, okay, this dude did not prepare any of this. He's just flying off the cuff. And you get irritated at that. But are you teaching your kids to be that adult, or are you teaching them to be better? Because it doesn't do any good for us to get irritated at adults who are not productive and who are not on time and planned if we're not teaching our kids to be better than that when they get older. I'm not saying better in the sense of a better person, but to have better character, because character is measurable, and character absolutely can be better or worse than someone else's character. A few ideas when it comes to things that you can throw in there that will help them be busy without just sitting them in front of a TV is fun baskets, which I did a video on that yesterday. If you haven't watched it, go check out my YouTube at Helping Hearts Homeschooler. I talked about the Halloween fun basket, and you can accommodate this to any different theme that you want, but Halloween's the one that we did for this time. Lots of crafts. Library books are a good one. Outside time. Slime is a good one if you let your kids play with slime. I personally do. We do a lot of sand play, like the, what is it called? It's not, I always call it kinesthetic sand. That's the teacher in me. It's not kinesthetic sand. Kinetic sand. And then I do have tablet time on here, but again, we earn that. So right now my daughter is getting 30 minutes of tablet time while I'm doing this video. She's pretty much done all of her morning school. She's already crafted. She's cleaned everything she needs to clean. It's 5 o'clock in the evening. She has done everything she needs to get done today, pretty much. We have a little bit of playtime left, but that's it. So I do let her earn tablet time. There's nothing wrong with that. Let them earn some tablet time. So 7 essentials of parenting. We've gone through 1, law of first mention, 2, place for everything, 3, live with rhythm, 4 is a place where everyone wants to be. So what that says is your house should be the place that all your kids' friends wants to hang out if you want your child to have fun and want to stay at your house. And that's going to require a little bit of work for you. Now, personally, like I said, I did the teenage thing already. My house was not the place to hang out. I was gone all the time. I was working 24/7. I will say I think I failed her in that aspect. However, I know the house that was the house to hang out because she was there all the time, and so were all her little friends, and it was not a good place for teenagers to be hanging out. But that's where she naturally gravitated toward, and I was not good enough at being the adult in that scenario to put my foot down and say no, and I also didn't have a better option for her. So with my daughter Glory, what we're doing is we are the hangout house. We're the house that all her friends want to come to. They routinely ask their parents to ask Glory's mom to go have play dates. They routinely ask to come over to our house and do crafts, to come over to our house and have sprinkler time. And we put a lot of work into that. So what that looks like is we have lots of games and crafts at our house. So some of you guys, because you send me games from your business to review because we are constantly playing games. I have craft boxes show up at my house probably once or twice a week of people wanting me to review their craft box because they know that I have an audience for crafts because I constantly have kids at my house doing crafts. So I can give a very honest review of like, hey, real life scenario, I had 7 kids between the age of this and this. This is what they thought about your box. And most of the time it's good. I will say that. We do lots of parties and events. At least once a month, we're having a homeschool party. We have a Hocus Pocus sleepover coming up. We just had, what is this, October? What did we just had something. Oh, duh. We had a sprinkler play date with sprinklers and water shooters and those big water, they're like long tubes and you slam them and water shoots at the bottom. I don't know what they're called. I guess they're water shooters. I don't know. I got them at the dollar store. So, we have lots of stuff like that. We've had giant water balloon parties in our backyard. We have a big craft day planned in November. We have a Christmas party in December. January, I think we are doing a mommy and me painting play date. So lots of things, and you can go to Pinterest and get ideas. None of this stuff I come up with. I am not creative enough for that. But I know that I want my daughter and her friends, I want my house to be the place that they want to hang out because I want to know that she's in an environment that is kid friendly and that there's nothing going on that I wouldn't want her exposed to. And then I want to be that safe place for a lot of other kids who don't have a safe place as well. Eventually, we're going to be putting in a pool. I don't know if we're getting like an above ground or if we're just going to get an in-ground pool when we build our house. You know, it's eventually, by the time she's a teenager, we'll have it for sure. But I think next year we're just going to get one of those cheap, like $300 that you blow up a ring and whatever, because I want to see, don't judge me, I want to see if I actually have the character, and we're talking about character, to keep up with the maintenance. I'm not a big fan of like being outside in 90-degree weather. Definitely not a big fan of like working outside in 90-degree weather. So I don't know if I want to do a pool maintenance, but we're going to try with a cheap one, I think. We're going to put a volleyball net up because my daughter wants to get into volleyball in a couple of years when she's old enough to play at the Christian school. So we're going to put a volleyball net up, and we'll have friends that come over and just hang out in the backyard, and we'll barbecue and we'll play volleyball. Not my cup of tea, but it is my daughter's. So again, that we're going to talk about that in a minute as well. Number 5, the 7 essentials of parenting. You need to understand that music sends a message. So it's not enough to tell our kids what they are and are not allowed to listen to. What are you listening to? And more importantly, what are they hearing you listen to? Because the monkey see, monkey do is real. The do as I say, not as I do. Unfortunately, that's very rampant in parenting, especially with people my age. However, it's not effective parenting. Your kids are just doing it behind your back, and they're using the fact that you do it to justify that they can do it. So understand that music creates an emotion. If you're listening to it, is it making you sad, mad, irritated? Probably not stuff you'd want your kids listening to then. I don't care what the words are saying or what the melody line is. I'm saying, what is the emotion that it's fostering? And then obviously the one in your face, what are the lyrics? Are you listening to songs talking about cheating on your wife? Are you listening to songs talking about how you are slashing someone's tires because they cheated on you? Your lyrics are telling your kids what is acceptable and what is not acceptable, even if you're making fun of what the lyrics are saying. Are your lyrics glorifying God? Are you listening to something that's bringing them closer to God or further away from God? The music that you're listening to, is it uplifting and empowering? Is it something that, yes, again, some of these overlap. Does it create that emotion inside of you, that feeling of, I can conquer the world? Or does it create the feeling of, man, I suck at life, like I just should lay in bed all day and not work towards any of my goals? Is it sending a positive message? Again, guys, there are songs out there that I would not say are sinful, but I personally wouldn't listen to them. And I wouldn't want my daughter listening to them. We were listening to a Disney song, and it was talking about following your heart and following your dreams. Guys, why are we teaching our kids to follow their heart, especially as women? How emotional are we? How many times do we think that someone's talking about us when they're not? Because again, our heart is telling us something. We have that intuition that we're not even going to talk about that. But how many times I'm just going to use myself as an example. How many times did my heart lead me to a man that I had no business dating, let alone thinking about marrying? So let's not teach our kids to follow their heart. And that morals is another one I wrote down, but same thing. They kind of all go together, but you just have to be really careful with the music that you're allowing in your home. And then you also have to be willing to explain why you allow certain things and not certain things, so you're not being a hypocrite. There's a lot of music that's not good or bad, but there's a specific reason why you don't allow them. And just saying, oh, I didn't like the artist, not a good reason. Okay, I've been there. I've been in the place where certain songs are not allowed for no rhyme or reason other than the person in charge doesn't like the style that they're singing. That fosters a lot of resentment, and you don't want that resentment aimed at you. You need to make sure that you're teaching things from a biblical perspective and in a way that, yes, your child can question it. You're allowed to, they're allowed to ask questions without you shutting them down and doing the whole because I said so thing. Number 6 is developing your child's gift. And notice I said their gift and not yours. Remember when I said volleyball, not exactly my thing? Guys, I have my nails done all the time. I don't want to go hit a volleyball and pop them off. I'm just not going to lie to you. However, that is something that she enjoys right now. Now, she may not enjoy it forever, but she enjoys it right now. And we're going to have fun doing it. You know, another thing that she loves to do is cooking lessons. Do you know what I absolutely hate doing? Cooking. Not a fan. However, she enjoys it, and she's proven to actually be pretty good at it. And now she's loving to look up like YouTube videos and stuff. So we're gonna further that gift, and we're going to explore it. Now, you want to be careful because, again, their gift's not yours. Don't try to live through your child. For example, if you really wanted to study music as a kid and your parents didn't have enough money to give you piano lessons, and your child wants nothing to do with music, don't make them do music. Maybe you are somebody who you are very athletic and you went all the way through school and high school, and let's just use volleyball as an example. Like, you were good. Played on a college team, and you have a child who wants to do lots and lots of crafts and make things and wants zero to do with any kind of sport. That's okay. God has given our children different gifts than us. Sometimes he allows them, I believe sometimes he allows us to share in those gifts, and it is a common gift. Like my daughter, she loves music and she's very good at it. I love music. That's what I went to college for. I enjoy it. I did not push my daughter towards music because I did not want her to like it, only because she thought I wanted her to like it. She wanted to do piano, and I had her wait an entire year to make sure that it was something she really wanted to do, and it wasn't just, well, she saw someone else doing it. And now she loves it. I think she probably will stick with music for her entire life. Like, she really is passionate about it, and it's fun, and she enjoys it. Cooking, sports, we'll see. Though, like, she's shown a lot of interest. She hasn't stuck with it long enough for me to confidently say, like, oh, like, she loves it. She's been doing piano for, like, almost 2 years now. So, year and a half, I guess. So, and we share that. We enjoy that together. Now, probably she will get much better than I did because I didn't invest myself in it that much. I enjoy it and I like it, but when it comes to the piano side, it wasn't something I invested in. Having said all that, they're gifts. And can be spiritual gifts and talents. So I just talked a lot about talent, but let's talk about spiritual gifts for a minute. Maybe your kid is really good at teaching or leading. Leading sometimes looks like stubbornness, let me tell you. No, my daughter hasn't shown great leaps and bounds of leading yet. Now, she's shown a lot of stubbornness, so I'm hoping it turns into leadership. But she has shown leaps and bounds on teaching. That just tends to be something she enjoys doing, is showing other kids how to do things. I can't think. Oh, is it prophesying? Is that the one where you are very easy to point out somebody else's sin? Now, you got to be careful with that because obviously it could turn into tattletelling. But if you have a child that is very strong opinion when it comes to morals and very deeply touched when other people sin, like it very deeply bothers them, it's not a bad thing. It's something that you can cultivate. And maybe they are going to be someone who goes on to be a preacher or a preacher's wife or someone who's just in like very high moral standing. And the last one is make sure to see past the talent to their character. We talked a little bit about character already when it came to teaching your kid how to manage time. But we need to focus on, yes, you have I'll just use sports for an example. Yes, you have a talent for sports. However, are we going to put so much emphasis on sports that you don't ever develop a relationship with God? We need to be able to see the bigger picture. God gave us our kids on loan. They're not ours, they're his. But we have them for a certain amount of years. And we are training up adults that are going to go on and, be the leaders and the teachers and the mentors and just, the next generation of godly Christians. But we have to put an emphasis on their character, not just their talents. Like, we have to keep that bigger picture going. So it's very important that we teach our kids that God has a plan, God has a big picture, that we need to use our talents for him, not just for ourselves and not just for our gain. So, again, I will recap this, and then I will have this posted up on my YouTube. So if you're catching towards the end and you don't want to come rewatch all of it on Instagram, you can just head over to my YouTube at Helping Hearts Homeschool, and you can check it out there, along with all of my other homeschooling and parenting videos. But again, just to recap, 7 essentials of parenting. The law I first mentioned, there's a place for everything. Living with rhythm. Somewhere down here. A place where everyone wants to be. Music sends a message. Developing your child's gift, and then looking past the gift or past the talent to the character of the big picture. So I hope you guys were inspired by some of this, or you picked up some techniques or habits or just some nuggets of truth. If you are, let me know. I'd love to hear from you, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.